Hey, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Kurt Bergland's Baseball World. Every Monday morning at 10 Central, I review something to read. Usually it's a book. Could be hot off the presses, could be out of print, or it could be something somewhere in the middle. Today, I don't have a book. I have a magazine title for you that I think is phenomenal. I've stumbled upon it, and I'm starting a modest little collection of Baseball Magazine. My friends, I don't know much about really anything, but I really don't know much about baseball in the 1930s. Now, I looked up the publication dates for this magazine. It's called Baseball Magazine. I'm going to hold it up here so you can get a look at it. I don't know a lot about it. Maybe you know more than I do, and you'd like to share it in the comments. That would be great. But Baseball Magazine is kind of, if you remember Life Magazine, if you're old enough to remember Life Magazine, that's the size that we're talking about. And maybe it was even published by the same people. I don't know. And if you Google Baseball Magazine, you're going to get anything but this. So, a little hard to find information on it, but if you pick one up, and by the way, you can pick one up on the cheap if you don't care about condition. Some of them are really expensive. This one I picked up for about $10, and it's the 1938 World Series is the photo on the front. This is Dizzy Dean, has just number 22 there for the Cubs, has just flipped the ball to first baseman Rip Collins, and they have retired Yankee third baseman Red Rolfe in the second inning of Game 2 of the 1938 World Series. It's a wonderful picture, but that's not why I'm recommending the magazine. The writing in the magazine is incredible. You really get a sense of the players at the time in this case in the 30s, although I think the magazine was around in both the 20s and the 40s, and maybe even the 1950s, I'm not sure. I want to take a few minutes and show you some of the pages in the magazine and try and share with you why I'm so excited about these magazines in particular, and why I think they're worth taking a look at. So let's look inside Baseball Magazine. Okay, so here we are, 20 cents, my goodness. So this is December of 1938, and now we're opening up. Now, first of all, on the inside of the front cover is a wonderful, I don't know if they did this in every issue, but it's like an 8x10, and this one happens to be of the 1938 Cincinnati Reds, sort of the meat of their batting order. Ivel Goodman was their leadoff batter. Frank McCormick hit fifth. Ernie Lombardi, fourth or sixth. Walter Berger kind of was all over the place. But a wonderful picture, and there's pictures throughout the magazine that are amazing. Look at the table of contents. Great teams that didn't win. 1927 Yankees get the nod. Now get this. The Yankees in 1938 are being identified as the greatest team in history, the 1927 Yankees. So, and the reasoning, the thinking is really interesting. You get such a glimpse into what was important in baseball in the 1930s. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff here, other wonderful articles, but let's look at one in particular. Let's get to the Yankees article here. This is you get a lot of text here with an article. About 2 pages of this type of print. So there's a developed argument here. 1927 Yankees get the nod. The 1938 champions are better balanced, but Ruth, Gehrig, Combs, Musial, and Moore of 11 years ago featured amazing club. The 1938 figures mentioned in this article are unofficial finals. This was written when the 38 World Series was going on, even though it was published, of course, in December. It was written before the end of the series, it looks like to me anyway. Anyway, in the article, you do get some stats, the 1938 stats that are considered important. And you get this wonderful descriptive writing, and it's in every article. It's not just one article, but it's pages and pages of thinking about baseball in the 1930s. There's so much here to learn about how people thought about baseball, why it was important, what skills, what attributes of players, pitchers and hitters and fielders, base runners were important is all, I don't know, you get you learn so much about the times that you're living in, that you're learning about when you read the contemporary account. You can write about the 1930s baseball or the 20s or the 40s or whenever baseball magazines are published, but there's something about reading about the players at the time that tells you a lot about the game itself and about how it was played in that era. I want to show you one other thing. The photos are black and white, but there are photos with every article that really are kind of amazing from the standpoint of the shutter speeds being quick enough to really capture a moment in a baseball game back then. Anyway, this is from the 1938 World Series. Here's a play at the plate. I can't even imagine how heavy the cameras were back then. But to capture a play at the plate and the shutter speed being quick enough to capture it, just amazing. And here is another 8x10. This is Rick Farrell of the Washington Senators. But there's so much in these magazines. You will read them cover to cover just because you get so engrossed in the topic that they are talking about. And there's enough space, there's enough column inches in these articles to really develop a thought. And of course, you don't have that now. Now it's 120 characters, and you're not really exposed to a line of argument or a real story. This does it. There's so much, and there are so many of these available online that you can pick up and not spend a lot of money, but boy, you'll really like them, and you'll learn so much about the baseball era that they're writing from. So I strongly recommend Baseball Magazine if you're interested in baseball history. Really wonderful pickup. Don't overpay, but also don't get obsessed with condition, or you will overpay. It's the text that's the wonderful thing. These articles, here's Jimmy Fox, and a whole article about Jimmy Fox in 1938, and he was a monster in that season. So there's so much here to learn and enjoy about the game that we love. Baseball Magazine. Encourage you to pick one up. I'll be back next Monday with another review, and I welcome you to join me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. So long, everybody.